Hey everyone, today we come to the end of Philippians with a kind of odd thank you. I rejoice in the Lord because now at last you've shown concern for me again. Of course, you've always been concerned, but had no way to show it. I'm not saying this because I need anything, for I have learned how to be content in any circumstance. I know the experience of being in need and of having more than enough. I've learned the secret of being content in any and every circumstance, whether full or hungry, whether having plenty or being poor. I can endure all things through the one who gives me strength. Still, you've done well to share in my distress. Not that I desire your gift, but I'm hoping for a profit that accumulates to your account. I now have plenty, and it's more than enough. So I mentioned at the beginning that in one sense, Philippians is kind of a thank you letter to this church from Paul because they had sent him a gift. They sent him support while he was in a difficult situation. And so here is where he finally at the end gets around to actually thanking them for that. And it's actually, I would say, one of the worst thank you letters you could find. You know, his mom would probably not be impressed by what he wrote here. Because he's basically saying, well, thanks, you did a good thing, but I didn't really need it. Now, the reason for that is kind of complicated. He doesn't want to be in their debt. In their time, there was this whole system of patronage where you had a patron and they would support you, but then they could expect certain things from you. The same issue comes up in 2 Corinthians. He won't even take money from that church because he doesn't want to be in their pocket. But it's better with this church, so he is thankful. He does take their gift, but he wants to be careful with how he thanks them. And we have to think about that as well, right? Do we only give so that somebody will give back to us? Do we sometimes refuse help, but then complain when nobody's helping? It's hard to be really honest and open and have the right motives when it comes to money and supporting other people. And so how do we understand something like money or having what we need? Well, Paul says the secret is contentment. And that's the context of Philippians 4:13, another bumper sticker verse about, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. The verse is not about, I can do whatever I want because Jesus will help me do that. I can be successful in my job, I can win this big game. This whole idea of the prosperity gospel where being a good Christian means that you're going to have health and wealth and everything else. He's saying God is going to enable you to do what God wants you to do. God will enable you to be content no matter what your circumstances are. That's a good question, though. How much do you really need to be content? I think if we're being honest, most of the time our answer would be, well, just a little bit more, right? If only this was taken care of, then I could really do these things that God wants me to do. Well, Paul speaks from experience here, right? He is in prison at this point. And he says contentment can't be based on those sort of things because there's always more that you could want or need. But you can also always find Christ-like contentment right now. And it doesn't mean we ignore those who are in need, right? Just like this Philippian church took care of Paul. But whatever gifts we receive, that's how we receive them, as gifts. And so our only response is thanks and joy.